Does one generation's failure lead to the next generation's success? Or can the first generation correct itself? Hi, this is Barry Phillips, a 10-minute Torah, day 1 in Nitzavim. You are standing, you being plural here. We go to Deuteronomy chapter number 29, and we begin with verse 10 that says, all of you are standing today before Yahweh your Elohim, your leaders, your tribes, your elders, your officers, and all the men of Israel. Your little ones, your wives, and the sojourner who is in the midst of your camp, from the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water, so that you enter into the covenant with Yahweh your Elohim and into his oath, which Yahweh your Elohim makes with you today, in order to establish you today as a people for himself, and he himself be your Elohim, as he has spoken to you, as he sworn to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov. We talk about generational influences. The previous first generation that came out of Nitzavim and wandered in the wilderness for some 40 years until they died off was a generation that failed to make a complete transition from a slave mindset of Nitzavim to an heir mindset of receiving the land, and the land being that which Yah had promised by covenant to the forefathers, to Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. As these people, this generation, wandered in the wilderness, they found more reasons why they shouldn't go in, why they couldn't go in, and why they wouldn't go in. They seemed to be those who would defeat themselves on purpose. Somehow they gave rise to a generation that said, we do not want to live in the rest of our future in the wilderness. We have to cross the Jordan River, and we have to take possession of the land, and we are going to do so. We're willing to do so. And that generation was not without fault. They had their own issues, and in the conquering of the land, they made some great failures. But at least they went beyond where the first generation failed. Yah is addressing here this second generation, the generation that will succeed in going into the land. Moshe is speaking to them, and it's my understanding he is speaking these words to the conclusion of this book on the last day of his life. When he finishes these next chapters, he dies. He's going to climb a mountain, and Yah's going to bury him. So these are his last attempts to inspire, instruct, and encourage a generation to rise up and get it done. Enough decades of spinning wheels and wasting time. Let's get this done. And he does so here by saying, all of you are standing, and the word standing here is in a plural form. It's a vim. It's an idea that you all are standing here together. And he lists the various components of it, from their leadership to their tribal influences and identities, their elders, their officers, the men, the wives, the little ones, even those that are traveling with them, and then those that are going to be of the servant class, that is, these that they have taken in battle, Moabite women, for example, that are going to be a servant class to the Hebrews. So all of these various components, Yah says they're going to be a single nation. In other words, this is a diverse community. Not everybody's on the same page. Not everybody thinks the same, sees the world the same. Not everyone has the same expectation of future. But all together, mixed together, they become a single community, a single people, a single nation. The thing that holds them together, the The platform in which all of them are standing is the covenant. This is a promise that Yah had made over 400 years earlier to a man named Avram to become Abraham. And he said, these descendants of yours are going to be in servitude. They're going to come out after 400 years of slavery, and they're going to come into this land, and they're going to realize the prophecy that has been made to you, that your descendants will be as numerous as the stars in the heaven, the sands of the sea, and there's places that you have walked, to the north, the south, the east, the west. Wherever your foot is trod, I have given to you and to your descendants this land. Israel, in part, accomplished much of what was a promise to Abraham, but it is yet a prophecy that is to be completely fulfilled, from the river to the river, from the Nile to the Euphrates. That has never been realized. It's going to be realized. And it will only happen as it happened then. It will happen now, and that is by covenant. A willingness must arise within our ranks to be a diverse people. If you want to call us the Hebraic roots community, a Messianic community, if you want to call us a Reformed Christian community, there's a lot of different titles out there, Christian Zionist, whatever you want to tag us with, however you identify this group of emerging belief that says it's time to return to the covenant, return to the commands, and become identified as Yah's covenant people called Israel. However we are identified, we are held together by a common covenant. The idea that all of the various components of this body are going to agree is a fallacy. It's just not going to happen. At some point, we're going to find various reasons why I don't see it that way. And of all the videos that I have made on the various Torah portions over this is now the 6th year of this commentary that Mike Clayton and I have done on Foundations for Life. Those who watch the House of David live stream for their Torah portions, I have bound to have made some comments that you have rolled your eyes at or shook your heads, Barry, you missed it on that. I just don't agree. You're welcome to disagree. That's fine. I'm not offended if you disagree with me. It's the sharing together of the various vantage points and perspectives that we all grow. So while you may not agree with my perspective or my words, at least consider them and study them out and see where they may lead. It may be something that will be helpful. It may end up in the trash. That's your decision. But it doesn't mean that you and I can't sit down and have lunch together if we're in the same location. Doesn't mean that we can't find a way to have some sort of at least online relationship. And I do appreciate you who watch. It's very, very appreciated. The thing is, though, we have to learn to be community. We are a generation that so far we have failed in this respect. Have we failed to the place that there was no following generation that is even willing to try? Or have we inspired a generation that is rising from us that says we're going to do it, but we're going to do it a different way? Can we repent, restore, and reconcile and reestablish ourselves to a functioning body enough that we can fulfill the prophetic demands upon our existence? I'd say not only can we, I say we must. What Yah has given to us, we cannot fail at. We must reestablish ourselves as a covenant entity called Israel, not replacing anybody, not moving anyone out, but becoming what Yah needs to use and desires to use in the days ahead. More about this tomorrow. To then, shalom.